Welcome everyone to my turn guide. Today we'll be covering Bianca, Lumia Islands, Vampire Queen. Today's guide was made possible thanks to Delinko, another NA top player, who provided the information for this guide. Thank you so much to Delinko, and let's get into this video. Bianca is an turn burst mage character who specializes on using their own HP in order to use their abilities to then hit these abilities to heal that HP that was utilized all the way back up. As previously said, Bianca is within the burst characters category, and this will be her main gameplay. In looking at her strengths and weaknesses, Bianca is a really good scaling character which allows her to farm throughout the game and then secure high placement through a game. On top of that, she's also effective at fishing for kills with her big burst, allowing her to catch someone off guard and quickly burst them down. On the same notion, she has a really strong, powerful third party. As long as she has all her cooldowns up, she can easily steal a kill from another player or even get a double kill. She also has very few unwinnable matchups, which means her matchup spread will overall be on the positive side of things. On the last note, a lot of people usually compare her to AP Malphite from League, but as the Linka's note highlights here, she's a cuter version of it. Now, looking at some of her weaknesses, she is somewhat weak before level 11. She also has somewhat of a predictable and explodable kit. She mainly has line skill shots as well as dashes that have a wind up to them. So people could technically dodge a lot of your stuff if they have the ability to do so. Additionally, part of her main gameplay, the fact that her spells cost HP. At the beginning, when you're just learning her, it can make it so that you miss their ability and then you don't get the HP refund, and then you're very low HP first, and you end up just dying because of it. She's also vulnerable to hard CC from a lot of characters due to her W high reliance on staying in a coffin, which can easily get cancelled. Now, looking at our max order on Augments, we're going to be leveling R when we can, followed by our passive when we can, followed by our Q, then our E, and finally W. Looking at our augments, here we have Bianca's primary augment options, the main difference between them being Frailty Infliction versus Red Sprite. Red Sprite is an option that will allow us to do more range and other objectives at the expense of slightly less damage if we're going to be trying to do one-shot combos. Quench is a very important thing to counteract some of the HP costs that Bianca's spells will cause. Tia versus Thorn Shackle will be up to your preference. Thorn Shackles will add some more damage to complement your Bianca when she's trying to burst people, but Tia will give you good survivability with the extra vision that can help you kite out some of your matchup. Penny Pincher will be recommended if you are trying to do the scaling gameplay and trying to farm up, that way you can order multiple items. But if you're trying to play a more aggressive gameplay, you could run Tia and Thorn Shackles together, which is also an viable option. Sensations and recommended stats. Our main two stats that we're going to really want to get, it's going to be your skill amp and cooldown reduction. Do have a note that since Bianca is an Arcana character, she gets a lot of cooldown reduction just because of her scaling naturally, so be careful not to overcap. For the most part, Bianca can use any amp item in the game, so a lot of it will end up being sort of preference, but just remember the CD, don't cap. Now, looking at our best and worst matchups, we're going to be looking at Heart, Sylvie, and Alec. Heart can always cancel Bianca's E with her ultimate, meaning Bianca can never RE onto a Heart, even from a bush, unless Heart chooses to allow it. And oftentimes, she does anyway, because she can kill you easily with the amount of damage she can do before the second part of your R triggers. Additionally, Bianca cannot use her coffin to mitigate any of the incoming damage, since Heart can just easily charm her out of it, as well as the fact that she can't really play a poke game with Heart, since Heart can easily just dash to not get hit with either Bianca's E or Bianca's Q. Now, looking at Sylvia. Sylvia has 2 mini stuns and a knockback, which makes it impossible for Bianca to mitigate any of the bite combo with your coffin. In addition, Sylvia can catch ultless Bianca easily with her bite. Looking at Alex, Tonfa skill is an extremely difficult thing for Bianca to deal with, and essentially prevents her from using her R with her E. Of all the characters with Tonfa, an equally annoying two-handed sword, Alex is chosen as the top 3 hardest matchup for this ability to burst Bianca while interrupting her coffin with 2 hard CCs, meaning that once again, pretty much two-handed characters and Tonfa characters are going to be pretty difficult for Bianca to deal with, but Alex is just the one that comes out on top. Now, looking at our easy matchups, we have Bernice, Jackie, Shukai. Bernice is the biggest counterplay for Bianca's REs to dash away before she lands with E and applies ground, which is an option missing from Bernice's kit. Bernice also struggles to ever kill Bianca, starting the fight on his own terms, considering Bianca can coffin the entire duration of Bernice's route. Looking at Jackie, Bianca can pretty much just kite Jackie forever while also having a strong kill pressure. If she's playing two-handed Jackie, and that way she has access to parry, or maybe dual swords, then she could be fairly annoying, but Bianca would still most likely win and just has to play a bit more cautiously. Now, looking at Shukai, Bianca can damage reduce Shukai's entire ultimate with her coffin, since Shuka can't use any of your other abilities while channeling, which means pretty much Shuka will lack any sort of damage to kill Bianca. Now we're gonna get into combos. The first combo we're gonna be looking at will be auto attack into R into E into Q. Letting with an auto attack gives you more total damage as your passive will be recharging during your channels, and this low makes it harder for the enemy to juke the center of your ultimate. It's also convenient spacing wise to auto attack first, since if you attempt to RE outside of the auto attack range, the enemy can avoid the center of your RE with just walking away. If the enemy can't back away from your range, such as if they have their back to the wall or are surprised from a bush, the auto attack can be foregone. This combo is much more effective if the opponent's dash is on cooldown, so that they can't dash away during your RE channel. The next combo we're going to be looking at will be auto attack into Q into R into E into D skill. It is harder to land the second part of R in this combo, but if Bianca has enough damage, she can kill without it. There is also some matches where if your opponent was enrooted, they could cancel Bianca's E or deal significant amount of damage during the RE channel. It is possible for the opponent to dash in between the end of the root and the start of the grounded, where some characters have dashes with animations low enough that it will still be hit with a fully charged E. For characters with fast dashes, Bianca can sacrifice some damage and HP to release the E earlier than fully charged. It is also possible to leave no time in between the root and the ground if the Q travels a far distance and Bianca starts channeling RE before Q hit. However, this is rare to use and carries the risk of wasting all if the Q misses. Now, we're going to be looking at our game plan. Bianca is looking for 2 big power spikes to level 11, after which she can fish for a kill on many characters with her auto attack REQ combo, and level 16 in which she can kill many characters with the more reliable auto attack QRE combo. Bianca is weak in battle zones due to her ult reliance before level 15, as well as her spell HP cost. Bianca can stall for a long time at non-battle zone objectives thanks to her long range and Q to sustain from W, but farming is the most consistent way to reach her the points in the game. She's the strongest. Going to Wake is very nice despite Bianca having to slow clear herself to leverage Bianca's ability to RE on multiple players at once or on Wake line to get the last hit on item. Now, looking at some tips and tricks, try to apply your passive with any spell before throwing Q, not only for the root but also for the additional damage from the second part of Q. Experienced players will expect you to Q after an auto attack and will try to use their mobility spells so that they dodge Q2, and some of the root time is wasted during animation. You can combat that by waiting to use your Q until the dash is on cooldown, but remember that your passive that allows to Q only lasts for 2 seconds. Next step. Arcana skill can be casted while moving. The initial use does stop you for a short while, but it's not as long as an auto attack does. So if you're being chased, stop to Arcana skill just so you can throw Arcana skills behind you, and if one of hits, you can go for the Q route. Next step. In general, Bianca doesn't want to waste time auto attacking when her passive is not up, in favor of moving and healing and coughing. It can also be disadvantageous if your regular auto attack procs frailty infliction early, especially if you have 2 stacks already applied with a passive auto attack. Next step, your E has a minimum cast range that makes it impossible to hit characters in close range, but directing it into a thick wall can circumvent this limitation. Next tip, if you have over 50 blood after an engagement, make sure you're using your coughing to heal. You can reduce your ult cooldown slightly and minimize the time spent resting. Oh, that was everything for this video. If you find anything interesting, if you learn anything at all, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.